Hey mama, you just gave birth, and sometimes navigating the postpartum whirlwind can feel very overwhelming. I hear you, I've been there. But eating right during this very tender transition is key to feeling nurtured and grounded. In this video, I'm sharing easy, simple Ayurvedic food tips to nurture your body, support a healthy digestion, and also your lactation. These Ayurvedic habits will make a huge difference for your recovery and for your well-being. Hello, my name is Manon. I'm an Ayurvedic life coach for women, and I'm helping you reconnect to your true self through self-care and ritual to feel more nurtured and radiant in your life. So if that's something you desire, remember to subscribe and hang out with us. First piece of advice, be aware that after giving birth, your digestion fire, as we call it in Ayurveda, your digestion strength is going to be weakened. It's going to be not as good as it was before giving birth and as it is normally. Why? Because you just went through a huge transformation, and this transformation, which giving birth is, not even mentioning pregnancy, is increasing vata in your body. Vata is this energy that is moving, that can be a little cold, a little dry, and that makes you sometimes anxious, not sleeping well, or you can feel it through constipation, bloating, things like this. And when vata is aggravated, it can bring a lot of irregularity in our life and in our digestion as well. So you can feel that you can eat smaller meals, but you cannot eat as much as you could before. Maybe some types of food cannot be digested for you anymore. Don't worry, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to eat them at all for the rest of your life. It might be just because of this window postpartum when, your strength, generally speaking, including your digestion strength, needs to be replenished, needs to be recovered, and that's why I'm bringing this video to you today. So how to know if your digestion is good? If you feel good after eating, if you don't feel bloated or tired or heavy, it means that you digest pretty well. If you're hungry at regular times, if you can eat diverse food without having strong reactions in general, if you don't have any heartburn or constipation or diarrhea, all those signs can indicate if your agni, if your fire, digesting fire is strong or weak. But then how to support this fire, how to enhance it. In Ayurveda, we use spices a lot, and when I say spices, it englobes also cooking herbs, things that can enhance digestion. So we have fennel that is very well known, turmeric, ginger, cumin, coriander, all those beautiful spices and herbs can be a really good support for your digestion, especially during postpartum. Just be mindful to not eat things that are too spicy, like peppers, because they can actually increase inflammation in your body, and if you're postpartum, you might be still bleeding, and that's not a good thing to increase. So you want to avoid things that are too spicy, but the right spices for your mind body type and in good quantity can do wonders for your digestion. Second is, of course, rest. Rest is so crucial to support your digestion during postpartum, and I'm not going to elaborate on it today, but remember, even if you don't sleep well through the night, which was my case with my daughter, because she didn't sleep through the night until a long time after giving birth, you can still use napping and also yoga nidra to recover and to rest, even if it's not a full night of sleep. I know it's sometimes unrealistic to ask this from yourself, but if it can be even napping or just during a yoga nidra practice where you're lying down and you're intentionally reducing stimulation and thoughts to just focus on yourself and your body. Something else Ayurveda recommends is to focus on combinations of food. So the more diversity you have in one meal, the more complex it's going to be to digest, because it's just many information at once to eat for your body. So one thing that can remedy this is those meals that all cook together. So those one-pot meals, for example, are better because the ingredients tend to blend with each other better. In Ayurveda, we consider that food is like people. If you cook them together, they're going to get to know each other, and they're going to be more easy to digest because they've been through a transformation together. So food combination is a really important one, and if you want to go into more details in this, you can find a guide to help and support your digestion during postpartum with Ayurveda in the description of this video. Another one is movement as well. Movement has to be adapted to what you can offer and do during this special time of motherhood. So it has to be gentle. It has to be mindful of any scar that you have, any tiredness that you have. But movement is so crucial, and what I recommend usually is walking, yoga. It can be strength training, but in a very mild way to start, to recover and get your body back into moving in a very gentle way. And something that you want to be mindful as well is you might not be able to eat as much as you were before, as I was saying earlier. So you may have to eat smaller meals, but more often. And it's totally fine to eat 5 meals during the day, as long as you dedicated time for each one. It's not snacking all day long, that's different. We're talking about having one small meal, maybe 2 hours later another small meal, 2 hours later another small meal. And that is totally recommended by Ayurveda to support a healthy digestion, instead of having one huge meal that you're going to take hours to digest and you're going to feel heavy and bloated and totally uncomfortable in your own body. Another advice from Ayurveda is to drink warm beverage as much as possible, especially during this tender time of your life. So you want to go for teas, preferably herbal teas that are less dry than actual tea. It can be also broth, stews, mixed meat stocks. Things like this are really nourishing for your body and also easy to digest, and they're warm. And if you consider your digestion as a fire burning, you want something warm on it, otherwise it's going to take a lot of energy to warm up your beverage and then digest it. And your energy is very precious during this time of your life. So please cherish it and just drink warm beverage to support it. And if you give birth during summer, you may want to go to room temperature beverages and drinks. Or if you are Pitta dominant as well, you want to go to things that are not maybe hot but at room temperature. And at all costs, try to avoid icy water and icy drinks, because those are not going to be supportive of your digestion. The same goes for food. So if you drink warm beverages and drinks, you also want to support your digestion with warm food. So it can be, as I said, stews, soup, or any meal, but especially warm. And if it's not warm, again, room temperature. We want to avoid things that are just coming out of the fridge that are totally cold and freezing on your body, because it's going to take a lot of energy to warm up and it might damage your digestion power. Another thing that Ayurveda recommends us to do is to drink the right way. Drinking pure water is good in some ways, but you also need to drink enough what we call today electrolytes. Electrolytes are just minerals, and those minerals are crucial to have in your water because they support the absorption and digestion of this water. In Ayurveda, we consider that water is heavy on your fire. Water on fire doesn't go very well. So if you drink 2 liters of water just like this on your already weak digestion power, it's not going to go very well. What you want to do to make sure that your water is well digested and well absorbed is to add a pinch of salt in it and eventually some lemon or lime, which is going to support your digestion a lot during this vulnerable time. One of the drinks that I love to recommend during postpartum is fennel tea. You probably heard about it because of its lactation support. It's also a spice that supports digestion and the mood, and it's tridoshic. What it means is that whatever your mind-body type is, fennel is gonna support you no matter what. And that's the beauty of this spice. It's that it's very hard to get imbalanced by eating or drinking fennel, and it's going to support your digestion again and your lactation. So your milk is not only going to be more in quantity, it's going to have a better quality to it, because in the Ayurvedic framework, fennel has a purifying quality for breast milk. Other piece of advice that is very dear to Ayurveda, but it might be kind of controversial, I'm aware of it, is milk is your best friend. I know it's wrong to say that. I know we're not supposed to drink milk. But in Ayurveda, milk is one of the most nourishing and easy to digest food to give, especially during pregnancy and postpartum. Of course, you want to choose it wisely and prepare it properly as well. You don't want to go to all those very high temperature sterilized milk that are homogenized and just drinking cold from the fridge. That is totally not Ayurvedic. What we recommend in Ayurveda is to choose ideally organic raw milk that has not been transformed, so it's whole. You don't want to remove anything from it. It's as it came out of the cow, kind of, as much as possible. And then you warm it up, and you can even add some spices that are supportive, like fennel, but it can also be cardamom or rose. And those spices are gonna make this milk more easy to digest, and the milk is gonna support your nervous system greatly. It's gonna help you sleep better. It's gonna be a very good support for physical recovery and also mental recovery. And if you don't digest milk very well, you can start by small amounts diluted in water. Don't use reduced fat milk. That is totally not recommended by Ayurveda, because we want the original material, the original substance, which is whole full fat milk. But if it's too much for you, you might want to dilute it in some water and drink it warm with some spices. Try it. If it still doesn't fit to you, you can forget this advice and move on to the next one. Ghee is your second best friend. Ghee is clarified butter. So you take butter from cow's milk and you're going to warm it up, and it's going to separate naturally between the pure fat of the butter and everything else. So protein, sugar, and also water that is still in the butter. It's in very small amount, but still. So when you clarify the butter, you end up with a substance that is much easier to digest than butter, that supports digestion. And in Ayurveda we say that either both milk and ghee have this ability to bring any medication or any plant, any substance to the targeted area. It's a vessel. So if you take postpartum supplements, for example, which is pretty common, milk and ghee are going to help because they're going to increase the potential of those supplements. And ghee is also great to use when you cook because it can handle very high temperature without becoming toxic or the fats to be destroyed. So ghee is a very beautiful food to integrate in your diet if you don't already eat it. You can find it in the store, natural stores have it, and you can also make it on your own. It's quite easy to make, it just requires some time, but if you have support, which I recommend during this standard time of your life, I would highly recommend homemade ghee, which usually is better quality and it tastes better as well. Another major advice that I want to speak very, very loud in this video is to avoid dieting. I know it's so tempting after giving birth to be, okay, I gave birth, I want my body back. I want to look like I looked like before. I went through that as well. Body transformation through pregnancy and birth can be really hard to manage, but trust me, you want to avoid dieting the wrong way. Of course, if you feel super heavy, your digestion is weak, you feel like you have mental fog, and you want something to support your health, you may want to support cleaning in your body and your mind through a mild detox, but you want to avoid dieting as much as possible because your body and your mind and your baby need your resources, and you need a lot of it during this time, especially of course if you're breastfeeding. This is probably the most important advice of this whole video. So if you only want to focus on one thing, this is going to be the thing. Eat according to your mind body type. What does that mean? It means that you have a special percentage of the elements in your body. So we all are composed of fire, air, water, earth, and what we call space or ether. Those 5 elements are present in the food, they are present in the nature, they are present in the sun, they're present in your drinks, and they're present in your body. And it's important to know what is your mind-body type because it's going to help you eat according to it. So if you are mostly earth, you are going to be naturally heavier, you're going to hold on to things more likely, so you're gonna gain weight more likely, feel maybe more heavy after meals. And the positive side of earth is that it's stable and that it is endurant, so you can last a long time without food, for example. So if you customize all the previous pieces of advice that I gave you to your mind-body type, it's the superpower of Ayurveda. you're going to end up with a roadmap of what is actually good for you, not only for your mind-body type, but for you right now as a postpartum mom with this mind-body type. So if that's something you want to dive deeper into, you can find a quiz on how to find out your mind-body type with Ayurveda as a mom in the guide that I created for you. It's going to be in the description of this video. So there's a lot more we could cover in a video about Ayurvedic lifestyle for postpartum moms, and that's what this channel is about, as well as spirituality, emotional health, communities. So if you like this video, I'm sure you're gonna love this one where I talk about how to detox as a postpartum mom the right way. Thank you for being here, and remember to stay radiant and nurtured. Bye bye.